Hello, good morning. Gary Champion, psychic medium, healer, helper, really. That's what I do. I'm a helper. Um, if you're an empath, and a lot of people that watch my channel are, there'll be times during your life where your spirit needs healing. That's just the basic fact of it. Spirit is exhausted. And it really doesn't have anything to do with sleeping at night. You can go to bed and sleep 10 hours, get up and feel exhausted because your spirit's exhausted. Body may be fine. Spirit's been overwhelmed. It's just tired out. You're an empath if you're in public and you feel overwhelmed. And it doesn't take much for me, so I don't interact a lot. I try not to, even though my wife says I do. I like people, but there comes a time when I sort of shut down and I need some alone time. I shut the door and I meditate. Sometimes it's simply that you're taking on the energy of the people around you. And what for them can be considered a normal stimulation, for you, you'd consider it overwhelming. People can watch bloody, gory movies. The Halloween thing was a good example. Everybody was talked to someone and said, yeah, we're going to watch this Halloween 13 and we're going to watch this and we're going to have Freddy Krueger and we're going to... Thinking, I can't watch a single one of those. I can't get through the first 2 or 3 minutes when it starts getting creepy, even though nothing's happened. It damages me in a way that requires recovery. What can be considered, and that's considered normal stimulation now for kids. A lot of shooting and cutting up and killing, and ooh, that was gory. And the ratings now, if you have Wi-Fi at the top, it'll say language, nudity, smoking. That's a big deal. Gore. You're saying gore. Do I really want to see gore? So it's like we were talking the other day. Everybody's seeing squid and blah blah blah. We got to watch it, and really 5 minutes in, okay, I couldn't watch another second of it. I had to turn it off. I don't care how good the movie is. I don't care how good the cinematography is. I don't care how good the makeup is. The reaction for me was one of being overwhelmed because I'm an empath. And violent TV of any kind, bad news on television. So we don't have those channels. We don't watch ABC, NBC, or any of those. We don't watch CNN. We don't, because they're manufacturing a bigger audience. They don't give a crap whether it's news or not. It's not news. Anything about the Kardashians or any of that crap, that's not news. That's celebrity. So news has become mostly about celebrities. Do I care if so-and-so is now nude again? Did a nude layout for some dog thing or what? No. I mean, anyway. Uncomfortable positions with situations with people. And empaths find themselves in this hole all the time. Someone's spouting anger at someone, and now you sort of want to be friends with them, but you can't take the verbiage that's coming out of their mouth is so acidic and distasteful. And they may just have it toward that one person and may just be fine the rest of the time. But do I need to sit there and absorb it? I do not. Do I care if they get angry if I walk away? I do not. Uncomfortable situations, sometimes I have to walk away from them, even though it makes me appear like I don't care. It's that I care too much. And I don't owe them anything. I don't owe you to listen to this crap that you're spouting or whatever situation you're in. I don't want to hear it. That's not being much of a friend. Well, guess what? I'm not much of a friend. If you were a friend, I'll give you a little reading, a little healing here every now and then. But I don't want to listen to that because it damages me and you don't get it. No one gets it. They think you're like them because this is normal stimulation for them. Hateful speech about someone, blah, 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 and they go down that road. Hate mongering. A lot of channels on YouTube do it all the time. Or what's going to happen with Bannon? What's going to happen with Bannon? Well, and then there's a lot of this blah, 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 blah. They're hunting hits. They need hits on their channel. That's not why they do it, not only why they do it, but they've gotten stuck into a political channel. And now they're doing political stuff because people like it and they get 10,000 hits, 10,000 watches, which can earn money. And my channel's not monetized. All I have to do is click a button and it'd be monetized. You get paid for every hit you get. Then you got commercials and this isn't a commercial site. It's a helping site. It's a let me make the world better if I can without destroying myself. See, that's a caveat in there. That covers that. I'll help you if it doesn't destroy me. There are limits to what I'll do. Someone asked me the other day, he wanted to pay me to find out information that's secretive within companies. You can get the formula for that lipstick or whatever. And I know people who will pay me to get you to give me that information. That's just kind of just wrong and definitely illegal. Even though I've done some of that sort of. I pull answers out of people's heads for things all the time, all the way through school. They didn't tell anybody about it, but that's probably what I would have gotten. That's illegal. No, it's not. I'm just using the tools that I have. Because I get it in a different way than you do, that's not cheating. I don't think it's cheating anyway, which is why it happens. That's why if you think it's cheating, then you don't get those things. If you think, here's a way I can make my life better, but that would be considered bad stimulation. And going to hurt people's lives by stealing something that they've taken a long time to develop and hand it over to another company where they can compete with them. That's not what I do. I don't care if a lipstick in the whole world company is in business tomorrow. I could care less. Don't care. It's not a part of what I do. Lipstick is not helping people. Cosmetics is a big industry. Anyway, I turned them down, but they were flashing money. Hard to turn that down. Uncomfortable situations with people, and some people just make you feel uncomfortable. I don't know how they do it, but they manage to do it all the time to me. Start talking about things I don't want to hear, and I'll just walk away. Where'd he go? My husband had something else to do. Uncomfortable situations damage me as an empath and exhaust my spirit, and then I can't work. Then I can't help people. And then I have no purpose. You see, it's a domino thing. And if you're a woman or a man married and your spirit is exhausted, your family suffers. If you work and are an empath and those people at work are always hounding and arguing and fighting and saying bad things about, you're suffering. Your income's going to suffer. You're going to roll downhill. And the big one is it undermines your immune system. Immune system's controlled by the spirit, really. Certain glands, but when you're depressed, that's what we're talking about, a depressed situation. your spirit's been exhausted, damaged, not allowed to perform to its level that it's supposed to, then your immune system suffers. It no longer is able to zap those things that are in your system, and then you get sick. And I suspect there's probably millions of people that have died from an overdose of abnormal stimulation in a way that's unhealthy, that damages your spirit, and they don't bail. They keep that job with that angry group of people. And their immune system goes down and down and down. Pretty soon they have this thing, they have pneumonia, they have that, and then they're just, their physical system's now exhausted as well. Spirit could be exhausted for a short period of time, and it doesn't. It's, when you bail, when you walk away, it recovers pretty quickly. Start meditating, thinking positive thoughts. I'll even watch a silly movie. Watched one last night. It was silly, definitely silly, about aliens giving a human the ability to get whatever he wanted. Had that red-headed guy that was in Paul, that kind of funny alien movie, and Kate Beckinsale, and a guy that the only slalom skier for England, I can't remember his name right now, who successfully got up and slalom at the Olympics. Can't think of his name. He was in it and did a good job. I thought for a nobody, he's pretty good. But it was very funny. Dogs talk like humans. So the damaged the spirit, the exhausted spirit, is revived through humor or just good interpersonal relationships. My wife and I can talk about something, it goes away. I don't have a negative wife. If I did, I wouldn't have one. I'd walk away. Just can't be done for me. Why? Because my spirit's important, because I help people for a living. And anything that damages that hurts people that I'm trying to help, hurts my ability to help them. That's the goal for my life. And for many of you, if you're a nurse or a healthcare worker of any kind, home care, social services of any kind, your main objective is to help people. That's what you get off on. That's what you enjoy. And when you get damaged to a certain point, you can no longer perform that function. And then you usually have to quit and go find some other job that could be even worse. When this happens, you usually need some alone time. I do. And I set aside a certain amount every day, usually this time early in the morning, where no one's awake. And right now it's raining outside and cold, and nobody's awake but me. I had the feeling I needed to do this video. And so I'm up. And a little side note for those of you who are trying to control their blood sugar through diabetes, it's an interesting thing. My wife has discovered if I get up early and eat something, usually I don't eat breakfast. So I haven't eaten from, 6 o'clock last night till noon. So fasting every day. Well, I believe, I don't think you can disprove it, that the liver, when you don't eat for a long period of time, puts glucose in the blood system for you to just survive. So it raises my blood sugar. So if you're a diabetic, if I eat in the morning, eat lunch, and eat supper, the numbers just, blood sugar numbers drop to nothing. Right now I'm taking no meds. Whatever that was that I had that was diabetic, it's controllable through just diet and healing, self-healing, and things like that. funny things you figure out when you're going through life. Try it. Maybe it'll work for you. Because I'm now eating things I've never been allowed to eat. Diabetic bad numbers. I said, well, let's try some of that. See if it does anything. Blood sugar isn't changing. Let's try one of those potatoes. Blood sugar didn't go up or down. It just stays pretty much the same. So the idea is not to lower your immune system and get sick where you can't continue helping people, which is what your purpose is. If you know that you're an empath and this is your purpose, maybe you need a vacation. Take a vacay, as they say. I'm just going to take a vacay. Oh, I have the tall one that Anna's kids gave me for a couple of Christmases ago, and then I raved about it because it keeps stuff warm or cold all day long. They got me a little one. So for this Christmas, last Christmas, it doesn't have a blowtorch hole in it, and it isn't all dinged up yet. Keeps coffee warm all morning. But I digress. Okay, we've got alone time. We've got vacation. We've got changing jobs, which is kind of desperate, especially in your 40s. Jobs kind of close off. And maybe, and I've speculated about this a couple of times, people are not going back to work because they just don't want to work. All that going on, they're just getting by on food stamps and coupons and living with a relative, and they're not going back to work. And if they're an empath, okay. A lot of people are more empathic now than they ever used to be. I don't know why, but I remember people not being sensitive when I was a kid. I was the only sensitive kid in the room, and now they're like everywhere. So sensitivity is on the rise. Empathic people are everywhere and doomed if we sit and listen to this crap that people on television talk about all the time. Oh, you've got to watch this. No, I don't. It's the best movie ever. I don't care. I've seen Marlon Brando on the waterfront. I've seen Gone with the Wind. And no matter how great it is, I've seen a good performance somewhere else. I don't need to endure it in order to damage my spirit. What else can you do? Well, you can learn self-healing. I have a class on it sometime next year. I'm not sure. It's not on the calendar. Really, all I have is manifesting in January, which is might help, but self-healing, click your hands on, put them on your body. It just feels so good. You just feel like anything could happen, and usually does. And whatever's wrong with you goes away. Sometimes just a good hot shower will wash away all this crap sometimes. I don't know why, but I used to do it all the time when I was out on the road, and I'd do 20 readings a day. I was doing 40 in 2 days. Just sheer exhaustion and being overwhelmed. Like the first night, Saturday, I'd go home and take a nice long shower. Or in the hotel. It's usually where it was. That's where I encountered the Korean guy, and then the Japanese new guide that they're only appearing in the shower naked. It's because you relax. You don't have it. You drop your inhibitions and you drop your walls. And I don't have a lot of walls. So self-healing, learn a method. There's a bunch of them out there. I've been looking at a bunch of them. I don't see anything any better than what I'm doing. They're mostly yap, talking about stuff, and then at the very end, they might show you two little things, but they don't explain anything. Healing's abstract. It's not something you can really talk about. I've tried to write a book about it, and I'm so far in it, maybe 100 pages, but it's hard to be concrete about anything. How to do it? Yeah, I can describe that. I can make that happen. and I feel the energy flowing through me and going to somebody else, then they always feel better. But can you describe it any other way than that? Everybody's got this technique, the Qigong or the whatever, or this thing and that thing. It's really just you passing energy to someone whose immune system is down and they need a boost. And then their immune system kicks over and begins to heal a lot of things. You do it often, results are pretty dramatic. Mine have been. I could say I'm off medication, things don't hurt anymore. If you're an empath, no one's got your back. I'm saying this a lot lately to my wife. Someone will be cruel about something. I say, no one's got your back. Just us. We're in this together. I got your back, you got mine. That's about it. No one else cares. They care about themselves first. I'm not saying that shouldn't be that way, but they have no regard for you. They'll step over a dead body to get to the exit where they don't get involved in something. I've seen it happen, so I know from whence I speak. You're all alone out there. Anybody that says, oh, they're with you, they're no, they have their interests first, and maybe their children and their relatives and whatever, and co-workers, and you're like number 15. You got to get your own back. You got to learn to get rid of these feelings. I don't know what it is. What happens when your spirit's exhausted? You feel inadequate. You feel alone. You feel hurt. You feel depressed. I think the number 3 killer in this world is right now is depression and suicide. I think cancer is number 1 and heart disease is number 2, and number 3 is suicide by one form or another. It may be long-term suicide, drinking pills, unsafe conditions at work that you like, being on the edge. There's a lot of that going on through depression. And these people may all be empaths. I don't know how you judge empathic ability, but I know when I'm sitting next to one, it's not hard to feel. Empaths can feel other empaths. You might try it yourself. When you're someplace, look around the room, see who's like you. Pick them out. I remember that as a young medium, I could be in a restaurant and people would stare at me. And I would look at them and read them, and they were like me, trying to figure out who was in the room that was like them. And they would smile and nod their head, and I'd smile and nod my head. I don't do it anymore, but at one time I did it all the time. It's like Jerry Seinfeld was at a party one night feeling all uncomfortable because there weren't any comics there. He was it. He was the only comic, and he felt uncomfortable as anybody would feel because nobody was discussing comedy. They were discussing stuff he wasn't interested in. And then Chris Rock came in, and they saw each other from across the room, and he comes at him, and Chris is coming right at him, and he says, "Thank goodness, another comedian." Felt relieved to be there. Very funny stuff. Sort of like that. If you're in the company of empaths, you feel comfortable. That's a good judgment on it. So, do no harm. It's kind of a good thing I'm trying to do. Alone time, vacationing, change jobs. But try showering. And actually just washing your hands sometimes does a pretty good job. Avoid the people that are giving you conflict within yourself, that depletes your energy, that makes your spirit exhausted, which lowers your immune system, which allows you to get sick and croak. I like a frog. Okay, well that's enough blathering on about empaths, but empaths need support. There might be an empath support system out there. I bet there is one. Do you think it's manned with empaths? No, they're not staffed with empaths. They're staffed with people that have a job. If they're empaths, they can't do the job because all they're listening to is complaints and how do I do this and I'm so overwhelmed. A real empath couldn't do that job. They say they're empathic. Our thing is, I haven't even looked, but I should look for that. Empath. It's like those hotlines for depression. And unless the person, if I'm depressed and I want to kill myself, I get asked that question a lot by doctors. Do you feel suicidal? That's a strange question for a doctor to ask, but it goes on every time I see a doctor. And I say, yeah, I came in here to get something fixed so I can kill myself. Does that make sense? And they just look at me and say, well, I got to ask that question. Well, stop asking it of me. Put it in my chart. I'm tired of hearing it. If I were depressed and suicidal, would I tell you? No, I wouldn't. So stop asking me. Anyway, fellow empaths are great to hang around. They'll boost your immune system, get you out of your funk. And a good example is this YouTube channel. I must say this YouTube channel is full of empaths. Just lots of them. I don't know how many. But I notice someone gets down on the channel and will say something how they don't feel very good. And a whole bunch of other people right in there, oh, stick with it. This is what I do and that's what I do. Very helpful in a way to get you out of your funk, your depressed state. Very helpful. Which makes them what? Empaths. Empaths with a desire to help other people. But you're going to call a hotline if you're suicidal? What's your number, please? Who am I talking to? These are people getting paid to do it. I doubt that any of them have been to the press to the point they want to shoot themselves. They're getting paid to read a script. If they say this, you say that. If they say this, you can say that. If you're depressed, you know that they're not depressed because they're giving you some line you've heard before. Think about tomorrow. Doesn't help a depressed spirit. What you need is some advice. They'll take you in, they'll put you in a bed, they'll charge you money. They're going to charge you for when you call them, most of them. But I doubt that any of them have ever been suicidal. Because suicidal people can't listen to suicidal people all day long. Empaths can't listen to people with damaged spirits all day long. You can't do it. Because you're probably sick all the time. A lot of missed days at work. So gather together, empaths. I run into someone who's a medium or someone studying to be a medium. And I say, you need to go do some psychic fairs. They just walk around even. The atmosphere and the energy is completely good and positive. Most of it is. Learn what it's like to hang around people like you. A lot of empaths at psychic fairs. Used to be. And it's gotten real commercial now. It's like, give me the buck. But the last time it was a couple of years ago. It was the last fair I did. But I got that. It's always that little group and within that group that are there for the right reasons, and their energy overcomes all the negativity. Makes the room quite delightful to be in. It almost sizzles with positive feelings. Just walking around, listening to people talk, and looking at goods to buy, which they're hawking. And some of the vendors are quite good about you buy it if you want. If you don't, that's okay. They're not pushy, and some of them are just. Get stuff right up. Get your new Cupid doll. That's not something I want to hear. You don't care about me. You're just selling a Cupid doll. But I have met vendors there, marvelous ones. One in Chicago not that long ago. I said, "What is that?" She explained it to me. She said, "Well, let me know if you want it." I just walked away. I thought, "Wow, this is the ultimate of no pressure." And no pressure doesn't hurt the spirit. It's So when I go in to buy a car, I don't listen to them. I don't talk with the salesman. I don't give a damn. I don't. Give a damn's broken. I say, I've got this car. I want this much for it. I want this car right here, and this is what I'm willing to pay for it. I don't negotiate. I don't want to listen to some story. I'm just not interested. This is a deal I'm going to do. If you don't want to do that deal, let me know. I can go someplace else and just walk off the lot. Give it another second thought. Even though that's my favorite car, I can get it someplace else. So rather than being impacted by the yappity of the salesman who doesn't care about me, I just cut right through it. I don't have any time for it. And it cuts the damage to me down to almost nothing. And a couple of key areas for me: buying a house, buying a car, very damaging if I let it. Amazingly, helping people as a medium or a healer, no. Because as soon as they leave the room, they take themselves with themselves. They take all their dead relatives that were talking to me, leave the room. So I don't, whatever their issue is, it's gone. I don't remember it. I don't have no memory of having said it. In a real life situation, buying a car, now I'm stuck with that. Or someone who just hates me. Just walk away. You don't want to hear what I got to say? No, I don't. You can go ahead and say it. I don't have to be here. Anyway, it's my little video about empaths today. I hope it helps. If you're an empathic, find some way to shed the damage. Find some way to flush it out of your system. And sometimes the best company is just other empaths. Where you find them, where empaths are. Probably yoga or dance or museum of art or anything where people are sort of enlightened and affected by beauty, things like that. Got to be your own diagnostician here. Figure out what it is, what's bothering you, where the category is. Is it humans? Is it environment? And learn to tweak it, avoid things. Well, I can't avoid yeah, you can. No one, even your own mother, is not more important than you are. She's not. Your well-being as a human being comes above everything. If you have to walk away from people you've known for years and years, do it. If you can't do it, you're probably going to be have a spirit that's damaged most of the time. Till you can learn to cut ties with damaging people in damaging situations. And what's a normal stimulation for one person is not normal for you. Learn when to tell the difference. I love loud voices and yelling, and I can't do it. Can't do it. So I avoid it. To save me. Because I have a bunny and a peanut asleep in there that I have to support. Okay, enough of this. Thanks for coming by. I appreciate all this. The people that do stop by here. I'm trying to think. The next free readings, November the 7th. 2 o'clock Central Standard Time, USA. On Sunday, it's daylight saving time ends. So we're going to fall back an hour. But you'll figure that out before Sunday. Sunday the 7th, free readings. Sunday the 21st, free healing. That's all I have lined up this month. I'm not teaching a class. I'm just hanging out. Trying to enjoy life. Life is so much fun if you get out there and just enjoy it. And that's what we're doing. We're just sitting around enjoying, talking to each other, enjoying each other's company. And I hope you can find some solace in your life that reawakens your spirit to what it ought to be instead of probably what it is. No fear, no regret, no anger. Thanks for watching.